We're about halfway through the fall decor season already. Christmas decor is invading the marketplace, so if you haven't whipped out your fall decor items yet, it's time to get those projects going. I'm going to run you through 4 of the simplest builds that you can crank out in a solid afternoon for fall decor, and we're going to get started with the easiest build first. First, we're going to angle our saw to 20 degrees, lock it down, and make that first initial cut. There's no real rhyme or reason of the angle that I actually selected for this. I just kind of eyeballed it and did what would roughly look good for the width of the board. And as long as you stick with the same angle, make a cut, flip that board, line it up, make a cut, flip the board, just a lot of rinse and repeat. Then here I'm just gonna take off the harsh corners and do a little bit of ghetto round over for this. Then take some high grit sandpaper and knock off any fuzzies from the low grit. On to the painting. Just gonna use a rattle can for these. This is probably the fastest way to do it, and it's definitely gonna dry a lot faster than if you use some kind of a watered down acrylic or anything. Trickiest part is getting these stripes. You gotta kind of know your spray pattern a little bit for the rattle can, so you don't end up covering each color as you go. Basic candy corn. These are quick, simple, and kids just seem to adore this basic fall decor item. You could probably make a few dozen of these in an afternoon. They're cheap to batch out, so they can make you a little bit of side money at the markets as well. Next up, we have another really simple build that's quick and easy to knock out multiple of in a single afternoon. I'm going to start out tracing the main pumpkin template on this 1x stock. And then going to do the same with the overlay pieces. All right, got that all done. Now I'm going to knock these out on the bandsaw. For these overlay pieces, they could easily be done with a jigsaw or even a coping saw. The larger main piece for the pumpkin, definitely do it with a jigsaw. Don't think I'd try it with a coping saw, just a little too thick. And back to doing just some rough sanding to shape these down. Use some 80 grit paper here just to get the overall shape and to sand up to the line before I touch it up with a little finer grit paper to knock off any fuzzies. Now I'm just going to kind of roughly lay these out here, get a good idea of what I'm dealing with, what I'm looking at, get my spacing down right here, and figure I better get a straight edge out so I can at least get them straight on the bottom of the pumpkin so it stands upright. Hit it with the pin nailer here. Okay, we'll let that set up a minute here. We'll get ready for some paint. Another spray can finish here, just because it seems to dry a lot faster. The watered down acrylic would work, but it'd take a lot more time to dry. Kind of eyeball it here. Get that punched and drill a little hole. This one has gone over really well this year. I've seen similar items like this in both the big box stores and the larger decor stores for the fall season. Simple to build, quick to batch out. There's just not a whole lot to this one. Here's a really small build that has done pretty well this season. I've seen this one done in a few different styles and finishes. The only limit to this build is your imagination. Stock I have is 1.5 inch square, so I'm just gonna keep that measurement, knock out some cubes, 1.5 inches, sand them down quick. Not gonna go for a real heavy sand at all. Just get the burrs off them a little bit. Then just hit them with a little finish. These are all dried up now. Just did some basic cherry stain on them. Now I whipped out some sugar maple lace. I'm just gonna super glue onto the sides here for a little bit of decoration. You could do all sorts of shapes or even letters for this. I've seen these done on a larger scale, and I'm kind of a big fan of the larger size of them. But these I built in the mini form specifically to fit into smaller little areas that normally go without any decor because of the lack of space. And for this last one, this has been a strong performer for me for the last 2 years for sales. Quick, easy, and another one you can batch them out. This one I'm gonna take down, I'd say about 3 3/8 here. This I'm just doing out of some scrap 4x4 because I happen to have it around. I have done a few batches of these over the last couple years, so I got some spare pieces still kicking around. These can be made from 4x4s like I made them, or just about any other dimension of lumber you have available to you. I think the key with this project is the decorating finish. My daughter was a little miffed when I didn't hold back a set for her on the last batch I did of these, so I made these up just for her. Boy, you don't know misery until a 5-year-old gives you the silent treatment. That's going to do it this time. 4 super easy projects you can knock out in a weekend, or if you hustle, probably get all 4 of them done in one afternoon, maybe even multiples. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.